For division today, we're taking what we know and we're just going to add just a little bit to it. So hopefully those patterns you've been practicing with are getting set in your mind so that you can use them as tools. And we'll just take this next extra step together. So let's think about a real life situation. When you have had something and you're trying to divide it up evenly, do you have an easy time? Sometimes it doesn't exactly go into the groups that you're trying to make it fit, right? Sometimes you've got a leftover or a few leftovers. So think about this. Let's say you just got a pack of M&Ms and you want to share it equally with your friend, all right? So you open that pack of M&Ms and you pour them out and you count them, right? Okay, so let's say you counted all your M&Ms and there were 87 M&Ms, okay? So this is representing our 87, right? Our 8 tens and our 7 ones, okay? And this is what you're trying to do, right? You're trying to take 87 M&Ms and divide it equally into 2 sets. That's what we're doing. 87 M&Ms divided by 2 sets. 1 set for you, 1 set for your friend. Okay, so to divide our tens, we have to think, okay, I have 8 tens and I want to divide them equally into 2 sets. Can you do it? So yeah, you're thinking 8 divided by 2. How many will be in each set? Did you say 4? Because that would be correct. 4 tens in each set, right? So let's do the math. So we have 8 tens divided into 2 equal sets equals how many tens in each set? Right, it would be 4 tens in each set. And when I check my tens, I can see 4 sets in 2 groups equals 8 tens, and 8 tens, what number is 8 tens? It's 80, right? So we're going to subtract that because we know that we've divided our tens, so we can get our tens out of there. Take your tens away, and then we still have our 7 ones, don't we? We have our 7 ones. Okay, so now think, if I have 7 ones and I want to put those into 2 equal groups, all right, so picture this. I want to put those into 2 equal groups. Think about what number would be in each group. I have 7 ones and I want to put them into 2 equal groups. How many will they have each? So you could be thinking, okay, they're going to be 2 groups, one for you and one for your friend, 2 groups, and I want to put these 7 into 2 equal groups. How many could they each get? So maybe you're thinking, maybe 2 each. 2 times 2 is 4. Now we'd still have a lot left over, wouldn't we? Okay, so think, all right, what if I had 3 in each group? 2 times 3 is 6. Now we're getting somewhere, right? So if I put 3 in this group and 3 in this group, I would have close to 7, right? 3 in each group, that makes 6, but I have 1 left over. We call this the remainder. This can't be divided into 2 equal sets. So we call it the leftover, the remainder. All right, so that means in our 87 M&Ms, we took care of our 8 tens. We have 7 ones left over. We could divide them evenly with 3 in each group with 1 left over. So let's look here how that looks on our division problem. Okay, so we're going to divide our ones. 7 ones divided by 2. We couldn't really do. So now we had to think, how many would be in each of those 2 sets without going over 7 ones, right? We couldn't do 4 in each set because that would be too many. 4 in each set would be more than 7 ones, and we only have 7 ones. So then we had to think, okay, 3 in each set. 3 times 2 is 6. Yeah, that was really close. So we put a 3 here in the ones place, and then we go ahead and multiply 3 times 2, and that equals 6. So we put 6 in the ones place because remember, we were able to take care of 6 of the ones, right? So we subtract those out. Okay, so we said 7 divided by 2 is 3. just like this. We had 3 in each set, but then we had 1 left over. So look at, this is what we do. We say 3 in each set, and 3 times 2 equals 6 ones. That's how many we were able to split up, right? And then we do our subtraction, and how many did we have left over? We had 1 left over. Now let me show you what we do, okay? So I can't repeat. I've already divided my 10s and my 1s. There's nothing else to divide because I just have 1 left over, and we can't do 1 divided by 2. So what we do, and always remember, if this number is less than your divisor, you're done, okay? So what I do is I take this 1 and I just say there's a remainder of 1. This R stands for remainder. It means leftover, okay? So when I split my M&Ms up, remember I had 4 10s in each set, and then I had 3 1s in each set, and then I had 1 left over. So look at my answer up here. I have 4 10s and 3 1s and 1 left over. Okay, so we will go through these quite slowly, and you can fast forward if you're getting it. If you're getting it and you can write your numbers in your problem faster than me, then fast forward and check your answer. But don't just copy the answer, because then you're not really learning it, okay? So make sure you're getting it. Okay, so our next problem is 86 divided by 4. So I'm going to get my 8 10s and my 6 1s. Okay, so you can take a look here. So we've got our number represented. This is number 1 on page 311. We have 86 divided by 4, okay? So if I'm going to divide my 8 10s into 4 equal groups, can I do that? Okay, well, let's try. Let's move our 1s over here to the side for now, because we're going to do our 10s first. So we've got 8 10s, and we want to divide it into 4 groups. So think 8 divided by 4. How many 10s will be in each group? I hope you said 2. Okay, so yeah, 2 10s in each group. So let's look at our work text right here, number 1. And we're dividing 8 10s divided by 4, and that equals 2 10s in each, right? So you put your 2 up here in your quotient. And now the next step is to multiply by our divisor. So 2 10s times 4 equals 8. And what number do we write for 8 10s? We would write 80, because 8 10s equals 80. Just like this, right? There are 8 10s, and that equals 80. And we put them into 4 equal groups. And how many 10s were in each group? There were 2. Okay, so now we subtract. 86 minus 80 equals 6. Okay, so now we have to think. I'm going to move my 10s out of the way. So now we're just dealing with our 1s, because we already took care of our 10s. So here's our 6 1s, okay? And I want to put them into 4 groups. So I want you to think, how could I put these into 4 groups? Okay? You know, 4 times nothing equals 6, right? There's nothing times 4 that equals 6. So we're going to have to think of another multiple that's close to 6, or another product, or yeah, another multiple of 4 that is close to 6 but doesn't go over 6. So let's think about this. How could I take my 6 1s and put them into 4 groups? How could I start? Okay, well, I could put 1 in each of the 4 groups, right? And I would have 2 left over. Okay, could I put 2 in each group? No, that wouldn't work, because these wouldn't have any. So yeah, there would be 1 in each group with 2 left over. 1 in each group and 2 left over. So let's think about that. Okay, so I can't really do 6 divided by 4, but I've got to think, okay, but I want to have these 6 1s put into groups of 4, and so I could put 1 in each group, because 4 times 1 equals 4, and it's not going over 6. Okay, so I can put a 1 right there, and then I multiply. 1 times 4 equals 4, and I'm going to put it right down here. And then we go ahead and subtract and put your answer down below, and that's 2. Okay, that's just what we did here. We put 1 in each group with 2 left over. Okay, so then what we do with that 2, because this is less than my divisor, I've already divided my 10s and my 1s. There's nothing else to divide. This is my remainder. So I write R2 for my remainder. So my answer was, if I took 86 and divided into 4 separate groups, there would be 21 and a remainder of 2. Okay, so there'd be 21 in each of the 4 groups, and then we would have 2 left over is what that means. Okay, let's try one more. Okay, so the next one is 45 divided by 2. Okay, so I'm going to get my blocks here so you can see. So we have 45, and I want to put them into 2 equal sets. So we start with our 10s first, right? We have 4 10s. Can you put those into 2 equal groups? Sure, that's easy. How many would be in each group? Right, we would have 2 in each group. So go ahead and divide your 10s here. So we have 4 10s divided by 2 equals how many 10s in each group? 2. And what's our next step? We take our 2 and we divide by, we take our 2 and we multiply by our divisor. So 2 times 2 equals 4 10s, right? And how do we write 4 10s? We write it as 40. And then what's our next step? We're going to subtract and bring down, and now we have 5 1s, right? Our 5 1s here are now here, and we want to divide by 2. But think about it. Can you do 5 divided by 2? 2 times what equals 5? No, we don't have that. So now we've got to think. I've got to think of 2 times something, but I can't go over 5. Okay, so let's look at our blocks, all right? So we have 5 1s, and we want to divide them into our 2 equal groups. So how would we do that? How many could go in each group out of these 5? Did you say 2? Because if we put 2 here and 2 here, that would work. Those would be equal sets, and then we would have 1 left over, right? So look up at your problem, and we're going to do that same thing, okay? So we had 5 1s, and we want to divide those into 2 equal groups, so 2 could go in each group, all right? So I'm thinking, when I'm thinking of dividing 5 divided by 2, I said, uh-oh, that doesn't work. So now I have to think 2 times what equals something close to 5, but it can't go over 5. It can't be higher than 5. So if I was thinking, okay, what if I had 3 in each group? Well, 2 times 3 would be 6, so that wouldn't work. So you got to come down a little bit. So you think, okay, what if I put 2 in each group? Because 2 times 2 is 4. Yes, that works. So that's why we put the 2 in the 1's place, and then we multiply, and we saw that that was a total of 4 that we could take out, that we divided just fine, and then there was 1 left over. And so we take that 1 and we write it up here, remainder 1. Okay, so guys, I know this movie's getting long. I'm just going to say fast forward, but I do want to go over one more with you guys. And then if you need help, I am so happy to help you at the Hangout, or we can wait until after the Hangout and just work together. We've been doing that with some of the students, so it's totally okay with me. But let's try one more together. Let's do number 5. Let's do 68 divided by 3. So let's get our blocks. Okay, and boys and girls, I know you don't have blocks there, but you could draw sets with, 10s and 1s in it. You could draw rectangles and cubes if you wanted to help you get that figured out. Okay, so let's do 68. So we have 2, 4, 6 10s and 8 1s. 2, right? Is that right? 2, yeah, 6 10s and 8 1s. Okay, and what we're going to do for number 5, we want to put that into 3 equal sets. Okay, so I can take my tens. Can I divide those into 3 equal sets? Okay, so you're thinking 6 divided by 3? Oh, sure, right? How many would go in each set if we were putting that into 3 groups? Right, we would have 2 in each group. Okay, 2 tens in each group. So let's do the first step of our division for number 5. So we have 6 tens divided by 3 equals how many tens? Right, we would put our 2 up in our 10 spot. Okay, and the next step is and once we multiplied our tens, now once we divided our tens and got our answer, now we multiply 2 tens times 3. And 2 tens times 3 equals 6 tens, and the number 6 tens is written like 60, right? So we write 60 right underneath the 68. And then sister comes and subtracts, and brother brings the answer down. 68 minus 60 is 8. Okay, so now we have to divide our ones. So we had our 8 ones, and we brought it down here. And now Rover says repeat, so we have to do 8 divided by 3. And then we're thinking 8 divided by 3, that doesn't work, right? But we've got to think if there's going to be a leftover, so we've got to think, okay, I still want to get as many ones of this set of 8, of this 8 into 3 groups. So how could I do that? So think about this. 8 divided by 3, I can't do it. So think 3 times something that is going to be close to 8. All right, the answer will be close to 8, but not over 8. So 3 times 3 is 9, so that's not going to work. I can't put 3 in each group because that would be greater than 8. So 3 times 3 is too much. How about 3 times 2? Well, 3 times 2 is 6. Okay. All right, let's try 2 in each group. Okay, so here's our 8 ones. And we could put 2 in each group, right? That would be 2, and that would be 4, and that would be 6. Now I would have these 2 left over, and I couldn't add those to any of the groups because then it wouldn't make the groups equal sets, right? So these are going to be the leftovers, but look at what I could do. I could take 8 ones, and I could put 2 in each set, and then have 2 left over. Okay, so what I can do is I could say with my 8 ones here, I could put in 3 equal sets, I could put 2 in each of those sets. That's what we just did, right? We put 2 in each set, and then we multiply 2 times 3 equals 6 ones. The 6 ones were able to go in those sets. So now we're done with those, and we're going to subtract those out. Okay, so this is representing these 6 ones that I already put into the sets. And then I'm going to take those out of my number and see what I have left, which will be the 2 leftovers that I had. So we put our number 2 down here. Okay, and this, we've multiplied our tens. We've multiplied our ones. This number is less than our divisor, so we can't divide it anymore. This is our leftover. It's our remainder. Okay, so we put R1 right next to R2 right next to our answer because our answer, 68 divided into groups of 3 equals 22 in each set with a remainder of 2. Okay, so that's just what we had. We had 22, 2 tens and 2 ones in each set with a remainder of 2 leftovers that can't fit in those groups. Okay, so just keep going through those patterns, okay? You guys don't have to do these 2. I do want you to practice on the back. And I am very happy to help you if you want to go through it with me after the Hangout. At the end of the Hangout, we can do that today, okay? So give it a try, see what you can do, okay?